Well, welcome back to another tier list. As I said in the other tier list that I made, I have no idea in which order I'll be releasing these videos. As for now, I am only missing this one, the DLC tier list, and there's also the civilization tier list. I recorded all the other ones just so you can localize yourself, but probably I'm gonna upload them in a different order. Probably first, civilization, DLC, campaign, and move on. But let's talk about the DLCs. So the way I organize this is basically Age of Kings, The Conquerors, HD Edition, The Forgotten, The African Kingdoms, Rise of Rajas, The Definitive Edition, The Last Khans, Dawn of Dukes, Lords of the West, Dynasties of India, Return of Rome, The Mountain Royals, and Victors and Vanquished. So I'm gonna go this in order of release. First of all, this is Age of Kings, and to surprise you, I'm gonna put it on B tier. Yes! B tier! What is this guy saying? Well, although it was the one that, thanks to this little guy right here, we had all of the other DLCs, but you need to keep in mind that there was no receding farms. I don't think there were no fish traps, queued actions. There weren't none. Basically, there's also no petards. There's no hussar. There's no halberdier. There's so many things missing from the game right here. Ships didn't have formation. There were only like 5 campaigns, around 17 civilizations if I remember this correctly. So although this is the one that's thankful to this little guy, we have everything else. There's so many things missing from the original game that were added on, with other versions of the game. So yeah, the original Age of Kings by itself, it's a B tier one. It's a B tier DLC. So yeah, this is where it stands in my opinion. The Conquerors, S tier. Ships now have battle formations. There's receding farms. There's hussars. There is many new things that were missing from the original game that were added here and made the game so much better. Huns were added. The Spanish were added. Many civilizations were. Many great campaigns were added in this DLC as well. Basically, this was the game that people played for around 10 years before the HD edition came out. So this has just to be on S tier because everything that was on the original one was vastly improved into this one. And before I played the HD or the Forgotten one, this was my favorite one. This was the one I played the most throughout my life. So yeah, S tier definitely. It adds a lot of things that were missing in the original game, but also improved the game in so many ways. So the first S tier, I think we're gonna only have 2 other S tiers DLCs in this video. Who knows? But yeah, S tier, HD edition. Oh. DC, let me think. D tier, HD edition. It didn't do much for the game. It gave us very realistic farms, I remember, that were patched out of the game, if I'm not mistaken. And that's it. It was just a cash grab release. So, and it even wasn't HD. The game still was very pixelated. So why HD edition? Why? Ugh. Yeah, I guess that's it. The Forgotten A tier added that new technology. I think it's guide nets, fish nets. It added new technology. It added many other technologies. It added the Slavs, a great civilization. It added the Magyars, a great civilization. The Italians. So this DLC right here, I just think it's perfect. It's not not perfect. It's really great. It brought the game back up to, let's say, mainstream, and it's thanks to, you know, the HD edition and this DLC of the game that we got all the other ones after it. So yeah, the Forgotten. Now, some of the original campaigns were a little bit weird, but still, some of them were some of my favorite campaigns. The original Bari, the original Dracula, I just love those two campaigns. Home for Glalas as well, I just love that one as well, but you know, they decided to change those campaigns, unfortunately. Bari, I think, is the one that took the worst changes of all of them. And now it has 5 levels, 5 generic levels, where the original one had only 3 very unique levels. I love that. Dracula was the one with the least changes, but they changed the 2 levels that were my favorite ones, the very first one and the 4th level. Those 2 were my 2 favorite levels from the game, period, and they just changed them. So yeah, in the definitive edition I'm talking about. And you know, the Home for Glados one, I think it was the one that went out the best, because I still love the level. The way that they changed it for the better, but I still prefer the original one. But that's my thoughts on the Forgotten. It's a good DLC. Next up, the African Kingdoms. I think I'm gonna put this on sheet here. Behind the original game, so the African Kingdoms, it brought, it changed the dock meta of the game. It added the feudal age demolition ship and fire ship. I think it's like fire galley and demolition galley, something like that. So that was a big change. I think this is one that also added arrow slits. Oh, and to say, I think it was the Forgotten one that brought. Oh, I just now in remembering, the original game. It had no unique tags. It was the Conquerors that added 1 unique tag to each civilization and a bonus one for the Goths. So the Goths had 2 unique tags. But then the Forgotten was the one to add 2 unique tags to every single civilization, I think. Wow, that's amazing, I just remembered that. Or was it the African Kingdoms? It was either the Forgotten or the African Kingdoms that added 2 unique tags to every single civilization. I think it was the Forgotten. Wow. Well, I think the best things from the African Kingdoms were the Portuguese. I really like the Portuguese. And they also changed the Indians a little bit in this DLC, I remember. Other than that, not much happened. It's not my favorite one. My favorite campaigns aren't in here at all, so yeah, whatever. Rise of Rajas. Rise of Rajas. Where do I put this one? I think I'm gonna put this right here. It's better. Rise of Rajas, I think it's better than the African Kingdoms. I prefer the civilizations in this one. The Khmer are nice, the Malay are nice, the Burmese and the Vietnamese, I like those civilizations a lot. And I think the campaigns are also very fun. Bai Naung, Leloy, and Gajamada, I think those 3 campaigns are better than the ones in the African Kingdoms. Now I can't remember if in the tier list I placed them above or not. Might be contradicting myself right now, but I think I placed all of, essentially only Surya Varman one. I think it was below Tariq and Sunjata. All the rest I believe it was above the African Kingdoms ones. So yeah, overall I just think the civilizations and campaigns are better in this DLC. Although I never played the HD edition of this DLC, I only played the definitive one, so maybe the things are vastly different in the HD edition. But whatever. Definitive edition. Come on, I'm gonna... Yeah, Definitive edition I think is the best thing that ever happened to Age of Empires 2. It basically brought everything, all of this, into one big game. improved mechanics. The pathing is a little bit weird at times, but you know, they try to fix it with patches, so that's good. And man, I just think that the graphics improved so much, the game options improved so much, the soundtracks, the civilization themes also improved drastically in this one. I still like the old Spanish one, even though it's not historical. I still like the original Huns one because, you know, it was very creepy. But Definitive Edition definitely is one of the best things to ever happen to this game. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's it, brother. I'm gonna put it actually maybe not ahead of the Conquerors because it didn't really change much of the game. It changed the queue system. The queue system. You know, previously you could only have either a technology or units queued up, but with the Definitive Edition you can have multiple units and technologies queued up on the same building. That's great. And also something that changed, I believe, is that you have I don't believe that really changed, is the auto farm. You can just click a little button on the mills or on the docks and your fishing ships will automatically rebuild the fish traps, and your farmers will automatically rebuild the farms. Before that you had to manually queue up the farms on the mill for the farmers to rebuild them, but that's not a necessity anymore. And also the task queue changed. Previously you could only make a unit go to multiple places, queuing up the unit's actions, but with the Definitive Edition you can queue up like this villager, you will build this, you will go there, you will gather that resource, then you build this. And the same thing with military units. You can set a unit to destroy this building, destroy that building, then enter this castle and such. So that also changed a lot. So yeah, the Definitive Edition definitely is one of the best things to ever happen to this game. I wanna put it ahead of the Conquerors because no, the Conquerors still did more to the game. The last Khans added Cumans, Tatars, Bulgars, and Lithuanians to the game. Let me think about this one. I'm gonna put it ahead, right here, I think. Right here. Why is it bugged? Why is it bugged? Well, I'm gonna put it right here, behind the original game, no, or ahead of it. Behind. Bulgarians are an amazing civilization. Conics are amazing. The Tatars are also a very nice civilization. The Cumans, I think they are the weakest one from the bunch, but still I like them, and you know, they are the symbol of the DLC. They are the literal face of the DLC. And also the Lithuanians were added for some reason this DLC. I guess they maybe wanted to make a fourth campaign, but didn't end up doing it. And apparently the Last Khans was also supposed to release in the HD edition of the game. But it's a nice DLC. I like the campaigns and I like the civilizations. Other than that, didn't change much in the game. So yeah. Dawn of Dukes, top of S tier. It added Poles, it added Bohemians, it added Jadwiga campaign, Janjishka campaign, Algirdas and Kestutis. Literally my favorite civilizations and my favorite DLCs all in one DLC. And my favorite campaigns and my favorite civilizations all in one DLC. So that's amazing. What they did in this DLC is amazing. I love that. Top of S tier. Lords of the West. I guess I'm gonna go right here. Right here. Although I like the campaigns, it added only the Burgundians and the Sicilians in the game. And the campaigns are really fun, don't get me wrong, but it didn't change much in the game. It really didn't do much other than adding 3 campaigns and those 2 civilizations, so I think it's the bottom of the C tier. The African Kingdoms was more interesting, I think, and the Rise of Rajas was also more interesting. So yeah, that's it. Dynasties of India. So as much as I don't like these DLCs, these campaigns that much, and as much as I don't like the civilizations as much, I still think that just for the cultural and historical purposes, I think this DLC is really good, because previously the Indians were a single civilization that wasn't quite historical and respectful with the many different cultures in India. So I really love how they split the Indians into 4 different civilizations, and how they added way more campaigns for the Indians. For those reasons, I think this DLC is really good. So yeah, really good DLC. Well, let me think now. Return of Rome, ahead of the HD edition. I like the inclusion of the Romans. Alright, I like it. I think the Romans are a nice civilization, but other than that, having to replay the original Age of Empires just doesn't feel right. Why is it included in here? I don't know. Apparently it was Microsoft that wanted to release this DLC just for some more money, but at least we got the Roman civilization, so yeah, that's nice. But other than that, I don't like this DLC. So next is the Mountain Royals. Behind or above the Conquerors. Behind the Conquerors. 3 amazing campaigns were added. 2 amazing civilizations with the Georgians and the Armenians. I love those 2 civilizations as well. They're great. And I also like how they changed the Persians. So this DLC is also another one of the really great ones in the game. Definitely the one I had the most fun playing with the civilizations and the campaigns, beside, you know, Dawn of Dukes. So yeah, Mountain Royals is a really good DLC. And to end up things, let's put Victors and Vanquish at the bottom of the tier. I don't like how they took a bunch of modded levels and added them as campaigns in the game. I think that was pretty lazy. And other than that, there's some really bad levels in this campaign, in this DLC. You know, Constantine sucks, Stephen sucks, Ragnar's a really bad level as well. Yes, there's the saving graces, there is Nobunaga, there is Robert, there is Otto, but I think the bad things in this DLC outweigh the good things in this DLC. So at the bottom of the D tier, the worst DLC in the game. I only bought it because I want this game to be successful, and I want new DLCs with new campaigns and new civilizations, but I don't like what they did in this one. I hope they never do anything like this again. So yeah, that's my tier list of all the DLCs in the game. Maybe let's move things around here a bit. You know, let's put the original one on top of A tier. Let's put Rajas right here, and I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. I'm gonna put Victors and Vanquished ahead of the HD edition at least. But the Return of Rome at least added the Romans into the game, so that's very nice. The Romans are a really nice civilization. So yeah, that's my tier list of all the DLCs in the game. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave in the comments what you think of my tier list. And until the next video.